Hey guys, and welcome to my flashlight review on the M2R Warrior. This is the latest in the Olight series of tactical flashlights. I was excited to give this guy a try. It seemed like a much more modern update to the M20 Warrior that I had bought back in the day. That was one of my first Olights. And so I'm excited to dig into this. Pretty much the structure of this review is going to be, we're going to start off by just going over some first impressions, getting a close look at the flashlight. We'll go over some quick specs, and then I'll show you some outdoor footage where I compared the light against a few other lights, Olights and a lumen top that are pretty good throwers, so you can get a good basis for comparison, and then we'll just wrap up with final thoughts. Okay, so with no further ado, this is the box that it comes in. As you can see, it has a rather mighty 1500 lumens. You have 208 meters of throw distance, which is pretty solid, and its low mode gives you an incredible 25-day runtime. It features an XHP35 Cree LED, and as you can see here, you have a variety of modes that you can use it on, and like most of the other Olight flashlights I've reviewed, it works by pressing this button here to turn it on, and then you can press and hold, and as you can see, it cycles progressively through all the modes, and when you're on a mode that you want, you just let go. When it's off, if you double tap it, it will go straight into its high mode. If you triple tap it, it goes into a strobe mode. You can also, it features, this is a charger tail that you can use the included magnetic clip to charge it, but it doubles as a button to quick turn the light on, and you can adjust what this button does by pressing and holding it in and then using this button to toggle between modes. You can basically use this as a quick mode. As the instructions explain, this is for quick tactical use, so you could either set it, I think by default it's on its turbo mode, so if you very quickly needed to shine an extremely bright light at something or at someone, you could also put it on strobe mode if you needed to disorient or anything like that. You can see here that it's a relatively fair depth to the bezel there. You know, there certainly are deeper lights in the Olight collection, like the R50 that I've talked about. The lumen top TD16 that I'll be comparing it to outside definitely has a deeper bezel and it'll have greater throw distance, but for a flashlight of this size, as you can see, it's not particularly large. This has pretty good throw distance in the backyard when I tried it, and on the turbo mode really does a good job of illuminating the yard. It comes with an 18650 lithium-ion rechargeable battery, and the instructions do recommend that you charge it before its first use. Something that I will point out to anyone getting this light, it took me probably about a good 4 to 6 hours to charge it, plugging the USB cable into my laptop, which is, since it doesn't come with an AC adapter, that's one of the main ways they recommend that you do it. It is a bit of a slow charge because of the capacity of this battery, so I just say that so you know. I know everybody's excited when they get a new flashlight to go play with it, but plan on having to spend a bit of time charging this before your first use. Alright, this is an example of low mode at about 15 feet. Medium. High. Turbo. Now we're going to try low at a distance of 20 to 30 feet. Don't really get much more than about 10 or 15 away. It's medium. You can start to see the back of the yard. That's high. We can finally see the end of the yard. And then that's turbo at your full 1500 lumens. Back cap goes straight into turbo. Okay, now that we're back inside where it's light, I wanted to give you guys a quick just size comparison to a few other of the lights that I have on hand. First, this is the S2R. I've done a review of that in an earlier video. Links to that in the description. This is an everyday light that I use a lot and carry around. It's a pretty small size. It fits in the pocket really well. It's got a good variety of modes, as you saw. And compared to the star of today's video, it's a little less wide and a little shorter. As you can see, this is the Lumentop TD16. At one point, this was the best thrower and brightest light that I had. As you can see, I mentioned earlier, it has a very smooth reflector plate and a much deeper bezel. Good thrower. Definitely a little bigger light than the M2R Warrior. This is the brightest light that I have, the R50. Not an incredibly deep bezel, but a very wide throw. I believe this one gets up to 2500 lumens. Obviously a much bigger battery inside of it for better runtime. The M2R doesn't quite compete in terms of overall overwhelming amount of light with the R50, but it also has some nifty features like this quick tactical button and a much smaller size. You know, you could probably put this in a pocket and use this clip, whereas with this is a little bulky to carry around. I do like using it on walks and things if you're just going to have it in your hand the whole time, but unless you're putting it in a coat pocket, it would be a little big. Okay, so this is the M20R. It's maximum setting. This is the Lumentop TD16 on its maximum setting. This is the S2R on its maximum setting. This is the R50 on its maximum setting. Okay, closing thoughts about the M2R. This light is a bit of an expensive one. It's about a $100 flashlight currently, since it just came out. So obviously it's more for the serious enthusiast. It wouldn't be something you the casual user would probably want. But it does feature the things that pretty much the entire Olight product line does, which is a nice anodized aluminum finish, and it's very well made. There's no rattle when you shake the light with the battery. The buttons feel very solid. There's no wiggle. There's no rattle there. Everything just feels very well built, very much that you have the feel you're buying a premium flashlight, which is nice. This light, it's kind of cool. It fills in a niche for me between two of my favorite lights that I have of the Olight collection. The S2R, which I showed, that's a great everyday pocket light. I can shove it in my laptop bag when I go places, you know, good for a coat pocket. It travels really well. The M2R is obviously brighter and definitely a better thrower. At just slightly a larger size, it still fits pretty well in the pocket. So it travels pretty well. If I didn't have the S2R, then the M2R would probably be my everyday light. Um, M2R would be great for camping and things like that, and obviously for tactical use or for law enforcement and things like that. And like I said, it's sort of a great in between of the S2R and the big R50. I mean, nothing I've seen so far in the Olight line competes with the R50 in terms of just sheer boom, lumen power, lighting up my whole yard when I look at it. But the R50 is big and it's a little bulky. I still love the R50. I bring it a lot of places like camping or whatever when I'm going to need light. Often if I go for evening walks, that's the one I'll choose. Even if I'm going to use it on its medium mode because I don't need all that brightness. It just has such a wide dispersal of light that it's great. But like I said, if I was going to bring it anywhere that I needed to occasionally put it in a pocket and it wasn't going to be in my hand the whole time, it would be a little big, whereas the M2R does a much better job of being pocket friendly and kind of balancing that fairly, big volume of light with a small size. All in all, I'm impressed with it. It's a very well made light, great combination of modes. I think that the rear tactical button that lets you just hop right into the mode of your choosing is a great feature for this light. The Warrior series of flashlights has always been kind of all about that tactical convenience. And I like any flashlight that's rechargeable because having to buy batteries all the time is expensive, and the CR123 particularly, they get bright, but those are very expensive batteries to have to keep buying. So the fact that it comes with its own battery and it can be charged without even having to take the battery out of the tube, that you could just click on the little magnetic tail cap, that's a great feature. Then, I have 18650 like lithium ion battery chargers. Probably most flashlight hobbyists do, but it's always a nice feature to know that you don't have to have any of that. If this is your first expensive flashlight or rechargeable flashlight, you don't have to have any equipment. What comes in the box will allow you to use the light, enjoy it, and continuously recharge it for many sessions to come. So all in all, I would recommend this light. It's a great addition to the collection, even if you have several. It might fill in the gaps for you like it does for me. So thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful if you've been contemplating this light, and stay tuned for more videos on new lights that I add to the collection.